Ladies and gentlemen, the Attorney General of New York and the District Attorney of Manhattan both campaigned on getting Trump. They both campaigned on indicting Trump. This is highly unethical, blatantly partisan, and they both should have recused themselves, which I don't know how that could take place, in any probe of Trump. The issue here is that Trump never had servers. He never had a laptop full of incriminating emails and images. He never actually committed a crime. The crime he committed was defeating Clinton in 2016, and then the suspicion was leveled against him. Well, he's guilty of financial dealings. He had never been accused of being an operative of another country or having been in compromised situations before 2015. Go try to find an article where anyone in the Democratic Party accused Trump of anything. You can't, because Bill and Hillary Clinton went to Trump's wedding. So that is, you can't find any evidence or any question mark pertaining to his financial dealings. I mean, you could say, well, bankruptcies, but nothing in terms of fraud or criminality. Okay, he was never arrested, never indicted prior to the other week, and that took 7 years. But you have CNN, New York Attorney General vows to target Trump. Well, this was in 2019. Based on what? Based on Democrats viewing him to be this terrible monster? He has no servers, laptop. What did he do that's a crime? Prior to, they can't even find a crime within the indictment. What on earth did this man do to warrant, aside from being accused in terms of baseless allegations of being an operative of the Kremlin? There was zero evidence that he was ever working with another country. That was literally fabricated by a Steele dossier and loyalists within the Federal Bureau of Investigation who were no longer there, who were kicked out of the agency. New York's Attorney General Bloomberg vows to investigate Trump dealings. Based on what? It's very simple with Jim Jordan and James Comer. This is why it'll be very difficult to go after Trump or convict him. I mean, they can indict him, they can even convict him, but in a court of appeals, it'll be overturned because you will have testimony. If the Attorney General in New York or the District Attorney in Manhattan testify before Congress, they're going to have to explain, for example, Daily Mail, Stormy Daniels' lawyer, Michael Avenatti, is 95% sure he's running in 2020, says Hillary Clinton's super PAC founder who's backing him. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. I should have a live stream at 9 p.m. tonight. We'll see. I should have a live stream, but be here at 9 p.m. We'll have an upload or a live stream. Either way, you'll definitely have an enjoyable segment. But here, ladies and gentlemen, you have Hillary Clinton starting the Steele dossier, purchasing a dossier that was completely fabricated. I mean, again, it's like, this is why you should hit subscribe to this channel and read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, and other publications. Go to hagoodman.com. Super thanks is below. The Patreon is below as well. Thank you so very much. You hit subscribe to this channel because not many people have been on the left their whole lives and see all of it from an aggregate bird's eye macro viewpoint, okay? I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. At one point, I was the unofficial scribe in 2015, 2016 of Bernie Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. Okay, you can see those links on my website. But I saw what they did to Bernie Sanders. What they're doing to Trump is 100 times worse. Okay, the DNC emails showed Bernie Sanders was cheated. Debbie Wasserman Schultz immediately resigned in disgrace, then joined Clinton's campaign. Then they were fined. They were the ones fined by the FEC, not Trump. Okay? Again, you'd have to know something about politics. If you don't know anything about politics, but you don't like Trump, and you're a lifelong Democrat, and all you did your whole life was just, vote Democrat, and then suddenly you were interested in suddenly you were interested in politics in 2016. You started reading the New York Post New York Times and Washington Post and the Atlantic and even Rolling Stone, and you're suddenly into politics since 2016. You know nothing about politics. You only know the venom, the vitriol, the disdain, the contempt for Trump, which is a smokescreen. The truth is that Hunter did commit crimes. Hillary did commit crimes, and I think Hillary Clinton will be the 24 nominee. Servers, he doesn't have servers, Trump. He didn't siphon classified data outside the U.S. government and find a way to put top secret or special access program or classified emails onto a server or a phone in 2008 or 2009, 2010. That's impossible to do from a cybersecurity perspective. These are serious crimes. They can't even find a crime with Trump. Well, what they've done is they've criminalized suspicion of him. It is being suspicious of Trump is enough to indict him. He doesn't have to have committed a crime. There's no need for Trump to have committed any crime. He was guilty of something, we just don't know what. With Bill and Hillary, for example, $100+ million, and Bill's meeting with Putin at his home outside Moscow, according to The Hill and Newsweek, and then Uranium One deal goes down. You can't prove anything. And from the people that gave the donations to the foundation, you can't prove anything. Trump has misdemeanors elevated to a felony. Why? There's not even the federal crime. So if the attorney general or the district attorney in New York, Manhattan, is relying on a federal crime, where's the federal crime? We know that there are federal statutes on graft, bribery, all of these things that pertain to Joe and Hunter and Bill and Hillary. Okay? Again, he doesn't have, this is an important point. Trump doesn't have servers. He doesn't have a lost laptop. He doesn't have 150 banking transactions. He doesn't have any of these things. He has a phone call. This is the warped, twisted world we're living in. He has a phone call with Georgia, a phone call with another country. He's impeached on a phone call. Okay? He's impeached on a phone call for asking another head of state to perhaps look to see if Biden committed a crime, which of course he did, and they indict him in New York, only Democrats, and that's the rule of law. He's impeached for doing what the Manhattan DA and the New York Attorney General and Democrats in New York actually did. He was impeached for wanting to do what they actually did. See, you have a phone call with him going after his rival. They're indicting him on not even a crime. There is no crime listed within the indictment. And still, they think the rule of law is all about the rule of law and Trump, and it's like there are diminishing returns now. Democrats realize, and I try to explain this to everybody. It's very important. It's a very important point. The televangelists of our day and age in terms of politics are atheists. And there's nothing wrong with being Christopher Hitchens. I love Christopher Hitchens. I believe in God, but I love Christopher Hitchens. There's nothing, like, if you're an agnostic or an atheist, fantastic. The smartest people I know are agnostic, okay? But the most ethical and moral people, okay, as well. But if you happen to be an individual, let's just use the term, for lack of a better word, godless, and your God is politics, CNN, MSNBC, contempt for Trump, disdain for Trump, that gives you spiritual sustenance, okay? So you think that the ultimate morality is opposing somebody you've been told is the embodiment of evil. They don't really have anything on, like, any allegation against what's the worst thing Trump did. Oh, he didn't take you-know-what seriously. That's not an actual allegation. That's not an actual thing he did. It's your opinion. Most of the critique towards Trump is filtered through liberal sensibilities, which is part of their religion, which is worshiping themselves is also part of their religion, worshiping groupthink also. It's a pseudo-religion that is composed of very godless, there's no God, there's no religion, but there is a religion, and they worship groupthink, and they worship sensibilities. And so accusing Trump of things he didn't do is actually much more ethical and moral than looking at the actual crimes of Democrats, who are, these are blatant crimes that overshadow Trump, any accusation against Trump, a millionfold. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Thank you. I'll be back.